Chapter 107, Tournament, Finals Part 2. Tournament, Finals Part 2. The first match was a complete victory for Benimaru. Cozier need to discipline himself and fix his temper. Anyway, it was decided for him to be secluded alone inside the dungeon. Weighted bangles and anklet will be put on him, it'll make him have disadvantage when fighting against the challengers. Even with that handicap, he was still too strong. Looking at the spectators' appearances, even though they didn't comprehend the situation, it okays like they vaguely understand Benimaru's strength. It seems the excitement will continue, let's have another great battle. Oh well, because the irresponsible announcement and commentary from Suckaz, it was impossible to comprehend the current match. Suckaz, although I said that you were allowed to give an explanation, however, your specialty is deception to some extent, there is no need to give explanation for this match. Oh well, though there was no plan to expose their true ability. Suddenly I feel that someone was looking at my direction, it was a girl with a slightly long ears that's staring at me. I remember, she participates in yesterday's second match and was blown off the grounds instantly. Was she a half-elf one? I thought so because her ears were a bit small. There was no need for her to keep her eyes on me. Oh well, it must be my imagination. Near the seat of that girl, there were people who I recognize. They were the Tengus. What? That girl who was the granddaughter of the elder, her face was deep red. Although the guards near her seems to call her, but she didn't move a bit. Was she sick? Oh well, if there were something they will say it. So I ponder, and then I leave my seat. Yakisoba, if I don't go quickly it will be sold out. Though there was no need to eat, I must purchase it before it run out. After all, it was a delicious food so it can't be helped too. After the lunch break ends, it was time for the start of the next match. The second match. Sui vs Degura. There was no need to watch it, it was Sui's victory. Although, it seems Sui also intended to hold on for exactly 30 minutes. Without forgetting to service the spectator, he didn't neglect to liven it up. A reliable man was different after all. However, there was a problem. And that was... Well then, it finally starting. It is the match of our Sui-sama. Contestant Degura who have no other redeeming features than having a little muscle power. Well then, how will he fight? Against Sui-sama, I think he's a worthless small fry, but at most I wish for your cooperation to liven up the match. What a favoritism announcement. It was already at the level to feel sorry for Degura. I interrupted the match at once, and declared the change of the announcer. As expected, she overdid it. I will stop using Suckaz for Sui's match. And because of that, Shana enter and replace Suckaz as the announcer. Different from Suckaz, the adorableness and the tidiness of Shana seizes the spectator's heart in a blink of an eye. That is as if she was using a skill, but it's just her natural charm. Begin. This time for sure the match was starting. Degura was. Yo. Please look at this, Shindano. The awesomeness of my growth. So he shouts, while cladding his whole body in Toki 3, and tackle for himself towards Sui with intense power. That was, just like a huge energy ball, it had a power to blow away the opponent who comes in contact with it. However, it's just an afterimage. Yes. It's not a clone, but it was a real afterimage. A small remnant of magic power particles was left behind by the spatial transfer. Since it have mass and presence, the leftover afterimage body can even be called as a clone. When you use clone technique to the utmost limit, at that moment it will begin to produce false body. It's a super high difficult technique, even if you acquire the skill, you might not be able to use it. To master it, you have to keep practicing it, only then you can use the ability well. He appeared behind Degura and from his blind spot, an energy ball hit Degura's nape. The energy ball was as big as a fist, but it didn't have penetration power as strong as Benimaru. However, the effect should be tremendous because it was a blow aiming at the vital point. By the way, when Benimaru defeated Cozier with one blow, he uses the energy that he had tempered for 30 minutes. The Yuki 5 was denser than it usually emitted, it's refined with the addition of penetration attribute. Because it has the disposition to break through magic barrier, to defend against that pure aura was impossible. Against superior enemy than us that mastered the use of multiple barriers, this was one of the effective special technique. Sui's energy ball this time did not have penetration power that strong, it's just a normal condensed energy ball. And yet, Degura was kneeling on one knee after being hit by that attack precisely on the nape of the neck. Yuri good. Although I judge you only as a bug who just following Shindano, you are quite strong. Just because you're a bit popular. Don't get carried away, you know. Even your certain kill hit, it won't be able to inflict even a wound on this great me. Degura, what do you say? If you say like that, what about the telephone punch that you made while kneeling? A wound. Wasn't that obvious that the aim was not that? My surprise was unrelated. Degura was raising his toki. The leaked-out yoki filled the inside of the barrier. The air near Degura's surroundings clearly made a strange fluctuation and started to drift away. The density was so high that the normal spectator can see it. Certainly. Only this fellow's energy was a demon lord class. However, he still didn't understand how to use it at all. That was the reason why he was sent and came to this country to study. Also, it will soon hit the 30 minutes mark. It will end with the next attack. Take this. My best attack. Forest Blaster Wrath of Mother Nature 6. It was a haphazard attack technique. With all of his strength, he didn't think about defense at all. If described in one word, he is an idiot. He concentrates all of the yoki that cladding his body on one point, and then he discharged it towards Sui. It was spreads yet it concentrated only at one point. There is no way to escape, a full offensive technique. But, that's only if the opponent can't use transfer. Fuhaheya. Though you transfers and run away, I will pursue you anywhere. To pursue an opponent that's teleporting, are you really able to do that? Because it was inside the barrier, he will soon discover him. Anyway, I spot a problem on that technique. The greatest problem was, it didn't leave any yoki for defense. If the attack he received just then was a killing blow, then he will be defeated. It was the basic to value defense more than offense. And then, 30 minutes passed. Sui just uninterestingly transfer from place to place, just when the time became 30 minutes. Death Sentence Hazy Life Reaping / Weak version 7. A one-step kill. 2 katana inside one blade, a sword that can attack even the soul. Physical and spiritual. A sword with different purposes. This time, a blow with katana that killed the soul. If he uses a skill, he would inflict a fatal damage. If Sui was not going easy on his opponent, he will already be dead by now. It just striking with the back of the sword. Soshina explains, the spectator was clapping and cheering, but it was a frightening technique. Originally, it can cut till the soul, but Sui stopped it exactly before it cut the soul. This guy, not only he fights by using thread, his sword skill is also excellent. Really, I don't know which one was the better between Sui and Benimaru. Hearing this wisdom, King Raphael tries to tell me, but I pass. I want to hold on the anticipation. With this, the second match ended. The third match. Gobuta vs Hiro Masayuki. Well then, the highlight of this match was, whether the Hiro Masayuki was the real thing or not. Though the Hiro Masayuki's leg seems to trembles a bit, was this guy trembling with excitement? Really? Was he really the same as Hinata? I paid my attention to the grounds. Masayuki's POV. Nice to meet you, my name is Honjo Masayuki. What are I'm doing right now? That is what I want to know. In front of me, stands a slightly Kool-Aid warrior. It is a hobgoblin according to what the announcer Oni-san said. Hobgoblin? She must be lying. How can she said such a cool warrior evolves from a goblin? Or rather, such thing is not important. The problem is, for what reason I am in a Colosseum-like place, and become the opponent of that hobgoblin? That is what I want to ask. This, no matter how you look at it, is a duel right now. No way. Seriously, I will fight? 1 year has not passes since Masayuki came to this world. The place he arrived was called Ingrasia Kingdom. He don't understood the reason why he somehow on that place. Then he was helped by a boy who introduces himself as the leader of Freedom Association. Though Masayuki thinks that the boy was on the same generation like him, but the boy said that it has been more than 10 years since he came here. That boy was Kagurazawa Yuuki. He was taking care of Masayuki, who didn't understand anything. However, from that time Masayuki's head started to become hazy. At that time he feel his behavior became like someone else. Just remember it right now. Masayuki realized that he possessed unique skill, the Chosen 19. He think at that time he consulted about it to Yuuki. It was a story of the time when 3 months have not yet passed since he came here. Unique skill, the Chosen One. The effect of the skill was tremendous. There will be an excellent explanation for him for every action the opponent takes. Whatever he does will result as a heroic act and will be praised. It was such an unfair ability. Moreover, because Masayuki himself attracted super good luck, the result of his normal attack will become critical hit 10. Well, although the level of Masayuki's kendo skill was just at a hobby level, so it's not a big deal, but he was peerless against bandits or low-class monsters. Masayuki entered the Freedom Association by the recommendation of Yuuki, and began as adventurer. At that time, he thinks that his abnormally high offensive ability was unnatural when compared with the others. This is when Masayuki first noticed his ability. However, the real frightening thing about this ability was another. The effect was also applied to the companions of Masayuki. And also, even if it was a deed done by his companion, everything will become Masayuki's achievements. In other words, all attack of his companions will also become critical hit, as they received his blessing. And every admiration for his companions will become Masayuki's. If you remember, because Masayuki possessed the desire to become a hero 11, it bring forth this ability. When Masayuki consulted about this ability to Yuuki, it seemed a smile spout on Yuuki's face. After that, his head turns hazy. Day after day he started to feel like he was becoming someone else. Masayuki and his companions, growth at an overwhelming speed. After around half a year has passed, he was called as the Hero 12. He also participated in Ingratia's tournament, but he easily became the champion. Anyway, just by drawing his sword out, the opponent declared I give up and defeated. The spectator, who saw it, seems to misunderstand it as an instantaneous attack, but actually there was nothing happening at all. It was one of the effect of unique skill, the Chosen One. They just got hit by the hero's Haki 13. To oppose this ability, if it was not an unique skill holder with equal power, then the opponent couldn't resist it. However, it's never been said that it was an omnipotent ability. And yet, Masayuki, who until yesterday didn't have any doubt. We are invincible. We can win against any kind of opponent. Even if it was baseless, he still believed in it. Why? I believe in such foolish delusion. Or rather, I want to run away. I really want to run away. While in confusion, Masayuki tries to comprehend the situation desperately. If things like this, it was better if his head remains in haze. So, to begin with, why has the haze cleared up? That was the question Masayuki have. He remembered. Last night, he went and saying things like, prepare yourself, the one who will defeat you is this me. To the silver-haired boy, who was the demon lord. Then, oh really? Do your best. While saying that, he taps his shoulder. And then, when he sleeps at night, his head feels refreshed, he awake properly. Why am I in this place? It was his judgment on his current situation. No, the memory was intact, but he doesn't understand why things had become like this. Honestly, as just by remembering what he had said, he was surprised by the excessive emotion. The trust in the looks of the companions he brought with him, he felt shaken by the excessive emotions from it. So, the third match finally starting. What kind of bewitching fight will it be between the greatest young warrior of Tempest and the hero Masayuki? Well now, the two is staring at each other at the center. Crap. There's really no time. Masayuki's mind become flustered. Normally he would have inexhaustible curiosity about how the announcer won Santail connected to her bottom, however he don't have it now. He turns his gaze to the opponent. Then, was it a coincidence? Their gaze perfectly met each other. If he watched carefully, the opponent was also nervous. The opponent seems can't settle down. It resembles the appearance of the opponent in Ingratia's tournament. So Masayuki thought. Though the haze was cleared up, it doesn't mean his ability disappeared. Then, wasn't the effect of turning his every action into something that's considered as a heroic act also still remained? If that's true, even if he run away from here, the spectator might interpret it as such, right? Alright, then let's go. Masayuki decided it. After all, if the match begins, he will end up got beaten up. Even if his ability can influence his current opponent, he was uncertain if it can be used on the next opponent. Because, even though he only took a glance at that large black wolf and the Dragonute warrior, it doesn't seem to be an opponent he could win against. Even with weapon made from Mithril 14, he doesn't think it's possible to penetrate that steel fur and the scales. Here, let's run away. That is not a mistake. What excuse would he make? He suddenly thought about such thing, but he chooses to leave without saying anything. He was shy, he thought various good excuses. That's right. There are the spectators. So he thinks. Wait. This match, I withdraw. He frantically tries to mask his trembling voice, and only say things to that extent. And then without any additional remarks, he immediately turns his back and left. Having to concentrate this much to move his legs, it was the first experience in his life. Thus, Masayuki carried out a magnificent escape from the biggest pinch in his whole lifetime. Masayuki's POV end. Staring at each other in the center of the stage were Go-Buta and Masayuki. And yet, Masayuki suddenly declared a withdrawal, and then he left the place immediately. As expected, was he only a bluffing brat? Or there were some other intentions? Go-Buta was taking Guts' pose but... Uto? An unexpected happening. It was an unexpected withdrawal from the contestant hero Masayuki. However, given the current situation, we will able to see contestant Go-Buta's true ability in the next match. Is his opponent contestant Gable? Or is it contestant Ranga? Please look forward for it. So was the announcement from Suka, who returned on this match. She seems to have recalled the next opponent. Immediately Go-Buta's face turned pale. If it's like this, it had been better if I was defeated right now, Sue. So was the audible voice that comes from Go-Buta's heart. Though the spectators begun to become noisy. That's it. Is it because he in front of the Demon Lord he can't be serious? Now that you mention it. Because the Demon Lord didn't participate in this tournament, he withdraw. Well, isn't it because he won't be able to fight the Demon Lord that he doesn't have a reason to stick around? In any case, the strongest one will be made clear as black and white. So he didn't have a hobby to beat up the subordinates, except for the Demon Lord himself? As expected from hero Masayuki. And so forth, they start to consent with the astonishing explanation. Then. Masayuki, Masayuki. It has becomes a large chorus. To this cheering, Masayuki answered by raising one hand. Although his action was a bit clumsy. What is this? Is this a religion? I somewhat felt startled by it. Why does just by declining to a match, he received such high evaluation? I can't understand what the people were thinking. But, why he stopped the match suddenly? Solution. Last night, because the contact with Master, the brainwashing by Yuuki was lifted off. That is the result from his judgment. Ah. So that was it. Or rather, I can lift it with my Yuuki? His last night condition must be because the effect of the brainwashing equals thought manipulation 15. However, if the brainwashing was cleared suddenly, then, he must be feeling nervous. It then leads to him withdrawing. Did he decide that action after he thinks about it desperately? If that's the case, it was wonderful one. I need to commend him later. He was a good example of Japanese person. I want to hear his stories too. I will ask Hakura later to make sushi, however I will need to ask him to come. Anyway, though it was unexpected, the third match also ended. The fourth match. Gable vs Ranga. Well then, it was the final match for today. This match, frankly I already know the outcome. So pitiful, no matter how hard he works, there was no chance for Gable to win. As I thought, Gable began to attack Ranga with his spear as soon as the starting signal was given, but it was repelled by Ranga's first, so the attack didn't reach. The compatibility was the worst as well. Vortex of water was produced, it tried to seize Ranga, but the vortex's momentum was killed by Ranga's Tempest ability. He attacks from the sky too, but because Ranga has acquired the ability to run in the sky, it can't become an advantage for Gable. Obviously, the breath attack's also useless against Ranga. This was a very unlucky lot. He met an opponent he can't win against. Was it the side effect of tuner? There was a time where he was lucky, but there are also times where he was unlucky. Although it's easy for him to be lucky at critical moment, but I think on other occasions his bad luck will come out. Last time, like when he was fighting against the Holy Knights, it might be the result because he was lucky. Thanks to that, this time the situation becomes like this. Well now, the attack from Gable ends, and everything will end up useless. The rest was the delightful playtime for Ranga. It was harsh too. Since Gobuta win the last match by default, the match remaining time was added onto this match. For 1 whole hour, Ranga will be playing to his heart's content. Oh well, it becomes a training for Gable, it also becomes a good appeal for the spectators. Gable, do you best. I'm cheering for Gable inside my mind. And I join my hands for prayer. 1 equals Han Mimi Nagazoku, Hafu Arafu, half long year race. A certain EMP %$ hashtag. 2 delicious food is justice. Ramiro joins Iro on the gourmet's way. 3 fighting spirit. 4 Teateri. Degura use tackle against Sui. Sui takes no damage. It's just an after image. 5 demonic aura. 6 Deishizen no Okari, 4 Suto Barajuta. 7 Abarotatsu Inakai Zan Yawa, Shinosen Koku. 8 Shato Ikashita equals somewhat cool / stylish. 9 equals Ayu Heidu, Iraber Shimona, the supreme way of hero, the chosen one. 10 Chime Koshiki equals fatal strike, Kurita Karuhito. 11 equals Ayu, Iro, hero. 12 equals Yusha, hero / brave. 13 equals Ayu Haki, will of hero. 14 equals Hajira Jinsei, sacred silver, Mijirairo, mithril. 15 equals Shinen Sosa, thought manipulation different with the one used in chapter 95 Shinen Seigyo. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 108, Tournament, Finals Part 3. Tournament, Finals Part 3. Following the qualifiers, the first day of the finals ended safely. Gable did his best. With indomitable spirit, he stood up over and over again, seeming like a wall that couldn't be passed. His figure left a deep impression, captivating the spectators. Oh well, Suckaz secretly ignored Gable's attempts to give up no matter how many times he tried. Uto, what did you say? What? I can still do it. Don't underestimate me. Contestant Gable, what motivation? Such an unyielding man. He still hasn't given up. Suckaz. No matter how you look at it, he already gave up, but his luck ran out when Suckaz became the announcer. After all, for a full hour, Ranga toyed with him won. Since the spectators didn't know the circumstances, it seems that Gable was remembered as an unyielding man. I can't decide whether that's a good or bad thing. However, I want to say that, I'm glad it's not me. When the match ended, everyone returned to their respective inn. I got up from my seat and started to walk away to invite Masayuki for a meal. Please wait a bit. I have something I want to ask. Unknown. There was a person who called me to halt. It was the half-elf girl from before. With pale light blue silver hair and her jade eyes, she was a super Bishoujo too. Ah, so you are here. Ah, surprised, Ramiro Dano, it's been a long time. Elalyad. Before I could reply to the girl, a person came and greeted me while panting. Did he come running? It was Duke Elalyad. Ah. Duke, it's been a long time. Are you well? And, is she your acquaintance? Ramiro. She was a person the Duke was hurriedly looking for. Although I expected it, more or less. Let's listen to his word asterisk. Ah. Allow me to introduce you. This is Her Majesty, the Empress of the Sorcery Dynasty of Sarian, Elmshialur Sarian. Her Majesty, this is the person I told you about before, Demon Lord Ramiro Dano. Elailiad. Pretty much, she was the ruler of the country who supported me. After he introduced the Empress to me, he introduces me to her. I know. This 1-3 is the Empress of the Sorcery Dynasty of Carion, Ilumeshia Ilur Carion. I hope we will get along well. Ilumeshia. Although she a Bishaujo, she emits a solemn aura. I think she might have suppressed it before, but the person before me is without a doubt someone worthy of being called an Empress. Hello, I'm Ramiro, the King of Tempest. Please take care of me as well. Since I'm ignorant with the etiquette of king, please pardon my rudeness for, Ramiro. I introduce myself as well. Oh dear, I sounded like an upstart outlaw 5. I wish you would excuse me from such stiff formalities. How should I put it, since the Empress came dressed as an adventurer, I want to think something like that should be fine. It's not a problem. Such things aren't important. What is with this country's outrageous war potential? That's the real issue. Ilumeshia. She pressed me for answers while forcefully barraging me questions. Beside her, Duke Elailiad was greatly perplexed. We changed locations, and we were now talking while eating dinner. I wanted to eat with Masayuki, but I gave priority to the Empress of Carion this time. Though it was regrettable, it couldn't be helped. According to the Empress, although she was a master in magic, she was defeated by a strong devil and couldn't do a single thing about it. That devil was Degura. Furthermore, he instantly defeated countless opponents by himself. He was a surprisingly outrageous opponent. Despite this, that devil was easily defeated by a single Tempest executive. She couldn't accept this and became indignant. By the way, the Empress in here is a homunculus 7 that she transferred her consciousness into. So, there is no need to worry about her getting hurt, although she was frustrated about her loss. Well, you see, because Her Majesty was never lost before. When it comes to magic, she's the best. Therefore, Her Majesty, what I can say. Since it was a demon lord, it won't turn out as a half-assed tournament. Elailiad. Duke Elailiad soothes her as if he's given up on it. She acted recklessly because there was no danger to the real body. Thanks to that, I think Her Majesty's selfishness was great. That night, I enjoyed conversing with Sarion's Empress, and successfully struck an agreement about future technology. Although it was just a verbal promise, it was a promise between fellow rulers. I don't think it will be broken. After successfully making a promise with the Sorcery Dynasty of Carion, I can say that the tournament was already successful. I'm pleased with the progress, and I'm convinced that the relationship between our countries will become even better in the future. And then, the night grew old, as the morning of the second day of finals arrived. The second day of the finals. The fifth match. Arno vs Beretta. A noteworthy match. Although Arno said that he would conceal his status as a holy knight and registered as masked knight. He doesn't depend on others, right? The one who is called the strongest of holy knights that vows to protect people, how could he do something like run away? If he is a man, it must be a fight fair and square. Isn't that right, Arno-san? Demon announcer. Suckaz seems to have asked again while smiling sweetly. She ended her words with fool. Ha ha ha, of course. A holy knight wouldn't run away from any fight. Trapped knight. Maybe because he was desperate, he was muttering, "It will be alright if I win. It seems he decided to continue without concealing his true identity. He's just like a young rabbit that has been ensnared in a trap. No, I think that conversation about escaping wasn't needed, right? Well, whatever." A wicked smile seems to have appeared on Suckaz's face. Or rather, when she was still a Bill's Imperial Guard, she looked like an obedient and good child, but she changed suddenly after she revealed the fact that she was a woman. Was this her original personality? Or did she receive a wicked influence from someone, probably Sui? Or, it might be both. She has grown into a frightening little demon. It's too late now. I must be careful so I don't end up ensnared in a trap as well. Begin. Suckaz. While I was thinking about the pitiful Arno, the match began before I realized. Arno was taking a distance from Beretta, vigilantly holding his sword. As expected, it seems he won't attack carelessly. It started right. The day to show off Beretta's strength has come, right? Annoying fairy. I was surprised. Suddenly Ramiro came and spoke near my ear. Feldera and Milim also came along from behind. Why, you guys? Weren't you all engrossed inside the dungeon? Ramiro. Fuhahaha, Ramiro. It was completed a while ago. You're looking forward to it? Milim. Since I also have an interest in the tournament. Yesterday, I performed probability manipulation of Investigation King Faust 9. In yesterday matches, weren't the matches concentrated with ones that had clear results? Otaku Dragon. What did you say? That explains why for some reason people with similarly problematic powers were fighting each other. And, did he manipulate it so that the combination he didn't have interest in would be concentrated in yesterday's match? Certainly, there are a lot of highlights 10 in today's match. The combination like Arno vs Beretta right now and Lion Mask vs Diablo, were matches that Ramiro and Milim did not want to miss. For something that he considered uninteresting, he still accurately manipulated it. Let's overlook it for the sake of such interesting events like this one. He will never say such generous words, huh? As expected of him. Oh well, I don't have an interest in the outcome, but it will serve as a good reference. Quahahahaha. Feldera. Feldera began proudly laughing. Unlike the old him, he seems to have become interested in the matters of strengths and weaknesses. It must be the influence of manga. Now, he seems to be researching a beautiful way to win. What a hard-working fellow. Oh well, since he is such a strong person, I didn't think that he would let his imagination run wild for such useless things. While I was surprised by the entry of Ramiro and co., the match showed a new development. Arnold's sword attacks were easily repelled by Beretta's arm. Although it continued for some time. Oito, contestant Arno's attacks cannot pass at all? Is he going easy on his opponent? But if these are serious attacks, then is he unworthy to be called the strongest holy knight? Suka. That brief comment was a sharp wound. But those words couldn't disturb Arnold's mind yet. Ha. Every attack so far was for the sake of a plan. Look below its feet, everyone. Arno. Trying to look good, Arno pointed below Beretta's feet. There, a magic formation was drawn without anyone having become aware. At the intervals between the sword attacks, without being noticed, he had been drawing the formation by scattering silver dust. He was a skillful man. However, to be able to fight with this method, it seems he wasn't a simple muscle brain. Activate. Holy Field weak version. Arno. So Arno shouted after he throws the Shuriken 11 with barrier tag 12 attached to them in 4 directions. Crystals were embedded in the handle of the Shuriken. Apparently, they were charged with magic power, so it seems to enable the invocation of the barrier in a short time span. Although he said it was weak version, to able set up Holy Field by himself. It seems that Arno is a man who cannot be underestimated. However, the equipment was made by Kurobe for Arno to test 13, so frankly it can be said that Kurobe was his contributor. It seems that after doing various experiments with Arno, the two got along well with each other. Thanks to that, the quality of weapons from Tempest seems to have increased as well. It's really a great thing. Normally, although it is just a weak version of the Holy Field, most people would succumb to it when confined inside. It might be that only some of the executives would be able to cancel such a barrier. Is there even a method to completely capture Benimaru and Sui? Because the ability compatibility was only to this extent, I was unable to judge its strength and weakness. And, in the current situation, the compatibility was very bad. And for Arno, it's useless. Because of the ability given to me by Ramiro-sama, I don't suffer the effects of Holy Field. Beretta. Beretta moves to counter-attack against Arno for the first time while informing him indifferently. It can be understood that Arno's sword attacks were not effective because Beretta has physical attack nullification. Also, its body was created using magic steel. Beretta's fist was clad in helical mix of Yoki and Aura 14 emitted from the unique skill Saint Demon Fusion 15, then it fired that bizarre energy. The disposition was similar to Energy Combat Arts 16 Aura Blade, but the power had increased tremendously. It's also possible to shoot it at high speed. Though it seems not to have been concentrated to the level of penetration like Benimaru's, the constant toki that clad its whole body was still beautiful without any blemish. The level was different from the irregular toki that Degura emits. The power was not just simple yoki and aura, one blow from that fist could be considered a finishing move. 17. Beretta, who shifted over to offensive, let out an attack with fearsome precision. The spectators seemed to see the match as a great one, but my eyes couldn't be deceived. Beretta hadn't shown its true power. It only fought with 30% of its power. Fufu. How's dat? How's about dat? My Beretta, seriously cool. Ramires. Ramires flew around my surroundings, boasting with a self-satisfied look. Not enough to only show it to me, she was also boasting to Feldera and Milim. Feldera only replied, humph, even so I am stronger, but... Phew. Fun. 18, it's okay for you to be excited now. Tomorrow my lion mask will dismantle your Beretta, I'm sure of it. Milim. Not wanting to lose, Milim answered back to Ramires. Geez, is this a children's squabble? Furthermore, don't you think we should have worried about the pitiful Arno-san? The brutal announcer herded him into a situation where he couldn't surrender, so his situation was hopeless. Or rather, won't Arno's spirit 19 be broken by this? Just with this, my own assessment of him considerably increased. When the fight between Ramires and Milim ended, the match had also ended. Of course, it was a victory for Beretta. Arno used a special move he calls Meteor/20 or something like that, but the sword broke and crumbled when came in contact with Beretta's body. Oh well, it was natural that the sword lost its durability after striking the hunk of steel that is Beretta's body continuously. The weapon will accumulate damage little by little even if the weapon is clad with toki. Even though his sword was broken, the match continued. But Arno conceded defeat, and so the match ended. His sword being broken was just an excuse. In reality, he wasn't able to land a single hit on Beretta. However, since the spectators didn't know about it, the skillful announcer followed up Arno. Unfortunately, because his sword has broken, he must reluctantly surrender from the match. With such an explanation, the spectators understood. Suka, I will treat you to a meal. So I thought with teary eyes. Somehow she gave a skillful commentary. However, I pretended not to know about it. Arno's honor was protected. That is good. Thus, the fifth match ended with Beretta's victory. I'm sorry because it's short. Well guys, because various reason, exam for some who didn't know, I will resume translating again after October 18th. I'm very sorry, no, I'm not quitting. See you guys on next week. 1. Can mean, become his opponent, or alternatively become his playmate, or plaything. 2. Pretty girl/beauty. 3. She is using yo, an archaic first-person pronoun that mainly associated with king or emperor. You might see it on this web novel used for kings, e.x. Edom Alice, and Ramiro, when he tried to talk like a king. 4. Different from Empress Elmesia that use formal Japanese sentence construct, Ramiro use more casual, although not rude, with the Empress. 5. I think this refer to daimyo or ruler that come from commoner background, like Hideyoshi Toyotomi. 6. Japanese idiom Akaga no Hinaru equals exceptionally easy, like taking candy from a baby / as easy as twisting a baby's hand. Sui one hit kill Degura. 7. Equals Jinzounen Gen, homunculusu, artificial human, homunculus. 8. Alt, cowardly behavior. 9. Feldera's ultimate skill, Faust, ability probability manipulation, Kakuritsu Sosa, equals probability / chances equals operation / manipulation / management. 10. Alt, things / matches to see. 11. Yup, shuriken just like the one ninja uses. E.xna asterisk Uto. 12. Kekai Fuda, equals barrier tag, if you are fan of Naru asterisk O you will know this item. 13. Alt, for Arno as he was the test subject. 14. Reiki can be translated as aura but can also mean spirit / divine energy, as can mean energy. Fun fact, and can mean the same spirit. BTW Reiki is friend of Toki and Yuki, watch YYH. 15. Hijiri Makongu equals saint / holy / sacred, equals demon / magic, equals mixture / union / fusion. 16. Kituhao equals energy slash life force slash prana slash chi slash ki equals fight slash combat slash battle equals way slash method slash tactics slash act. Simplify fighting spirit. 17 Hisatsuwaza equals finisher, finishing move, special move slash attack, killer technique, surefire assassination method or a move you use at the end of the fight. Sure, you defeat your enemy in one heck of a cool attack that make them explode in the background while you are walking to camera direction in Sluo Mu XD. 18 Sound of laughing proudly. 19 Kokoro slash Shinken mean mind slash heart slash spirit. 20 equals Ryo season equals meteor slash. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 109, Tournament, Finals Part 4. Translator, Smoggy the Bear, our beloved Kuma. Editor, yours truly, Clown. Note from Clown, Kuma, what the hell, this chapter was so well written, I almost copy-pasted the whole thing. Good job. Oh. Founding the Demon Capital Arc. 109. Tournament, Finals Part 4. It's the main act. Milim was extremely excited, she was encouraging, threatening, the lion mask. I heard her say, "Do you understand what will happen if you lose?" But whatever could she mean? Perhaps it's better not to know. And with the signal audible to all, the match began. They stood in the middle, observing each other. The two devils before us were displaying an overpowering presence. And the fact that they did not release even a hint of their aura made the situation all the more bizarre. Carrion never doubted his position as a being of strength. Until he was defeated by Milim, that is. But as a result of his loss, he learned that a league beyond his own existed. Thus, today he was observing his opponent with the composed gaze of a true warrior, not the prideful gaze of the strong. This guy's is insanely dangerous. What the hell? What's a devil on par with a demon lord doing here? Normally, Carrion wouldn't care about his opponent's strength, rushing in with a smile on his face, ready to accept defeat. However, even though he has delegated his royal responsibilities to Milim, he lived as Milim's shield. Lose a battle, win the war, is not an excuse he could rely on. So, training with these thoughts in mind caused him to increase his powers beyond what he had as a demon lord. After all, he has been used as daily stress relief for Milim during what she called sparring sessions. Of course he'd get stronger from that. Let your guard down and you'll end up in a different world. Survival required him to strengthen his own body. Thus, he became much more cautious, and stronger. And yet, even the experienced eyes of Carrion could not see the depths of his opponent's strength. Hey, Lion Mask. You do understand, right? Your job is to trash that doll, Beretta, in an upcoming match. I will not allow failure here. As my underling, get fired up. Yet for some reason, he felt no encouragement from her words. Large drops of sweat fell from Carrion's forehead. What will happen if he loses? There's no need to guess, a hell of a training will await him. So far, he's endured easy mode and normal mode training, but has yet to unlock hard mode. And according to the rumors, there's also the ultimate course hell mode which cannot be reached by an average person. If he loses, he will certainly be thrown into it. So even against such a dangerous opponent, there's no choice but to get fired up. Kyufu. You don't look too well. However, I cannot hold back. Since I have joined the battle for the sake of my rank, I must be a little serious this time. TCH. Looks like the opponent isn't holding back, Carrion thought. I, too, cannot lose. My bad, but I'll be going all out from the start. He replied. And immediately afterwards. Begin. Editor note, this must be the signal that Ramiro noted previously. So no, this chapter does describe the start of the match twice. Suckaz' command reached their ears. And as if tearing the air around them, a battle cry reverberated through the arena. It was Carrion who roared. Covered in white silver bristles, he revealed his magic beast form. He was not aiming for victory while preserving his strength, rather, he sought to win quickly by using all of his strength. Denting the arena floor itself, he released his fighting spirit along with the Viago Ciri. A large crack ran through one of the stone slabs on the floor. The depth of the crack testifying to his step's power. I got him, he thought, and confidently slashed the Viago Ciri at Diablo's neck. He had just covered 10 meters in an instant to land a fatal blow, while wielding the Viago Ciri, a legendary item that could cut through any and all barriers. Half-baked defensive barriers will not be able to withstand its mighty blade. Carrion's confidence came from the fact that no being could evade the coming blow. It was a sure kill strike that would bring him decisive victory before his enemy could gauge his strength. So thought Carrion. Beast strike. The spear's tip split into two, preventing Diablo's escape. The fangs of the Biago and the jaws of the Serie. These two slashes embodied the true strength of the Viago Ciri. One destroys all the barriers of an pain foe while the other decapitates them in a single strike. A perfect maneuver. And perfect timing. Thus proclaiming his confidence, a fearless smile appeared on Carrion's face. And at that moment, Diablo's figure vanished. Teleportation. Carrion was startled for a moment, but then regained his calm and used magic perception to observe his surrounding. High-ranked devils are those who mastered transfer magic. Pulling it off instantly and without a chant was unexpected, but nothing that can't be dealt with. In the space-time category of abilities, transfer consumed the most magical energy. Creating a gate and stabilizing space is the safest, and consumes the least magical energy to move. However, what Diablo did just now, transferring without the use of a gate, even when moving by himself, was 10 times as costly. And to teleport without the use of a chant, only a handful of high-ranked devils could do that. This isn't an ability usable by just anyone. And the teleportation ability just now, it's an advanced ability above spatial transfer. Spatial transfer may look instantaneous to the average person, but in the eyes of a master there's a slight time lag. However, teleportation happens literally in an instant, time lag doesn't occur. It is the pinnacle of the transfer type abilities. This isn't an ability that could be used in rapid succession. As a counter-measurement against it, one should go on the defensive, and wait for the opponent to exhaust himself. The opponent would weaken faster than yourself. So there is no need to hurry. In fact, since Diablo did not escape using spatial transfer, that means they could not have avoided it otherwise. TCH. Lucky guy. If I didn't use my sure kill strike right from the start, he would have wasted magical energy pointlessly. Carrion thought, carefully maintaining his attack stance. He repeatedly attacked in order to bait his opponent to consume his strength. And, every time he would get away in an instant. He patiently waited for a chance. Diablo continuously transferred around, making a fool out of Carrion. But, what an awesome amount of magical energy. How long can he keep transferring? Though he had teleported only once, at the start, he had not transferred himself a countless number of times. To continuously transfer without chanting, this is impossible even for an archdemon. He knew the demon before him was an abnormal existence, however it surpassed his wildest expectations. But Carrion did not get impatient. That's because among monsters, there's his own shockingly unreasonable master, Mirim, whom he always keeps company. So he stuck to basics and observed, paying attention to his opponent's reactions. Constantly looking for a chance. Carrion's actions were reasonable, and, in fact, correct. If his opponent wasn't Diablo, that is. Kyufu. Analysis, complete. I have obtained data about your physical prowess. I'll proceed to verify. Since it's a little dangerous, please be careful. Diablo, who had been transferring around until now, suddenly said. And cold sweat ran down Carrion's back. His instincts screamed danger. A myriad fireballs floated around Diablo, radiating monstrous heat, hiding powers Carrion could not perceive. Carrion was resistant to fire and frost, but there's a limit to resistance. Carrion released his battle spirit in all directions, creating a barrier to prevent the fireballs from hitting. The impact was so strong that Carrion almost lost consciousness as the barrier was crushed. However, he had successfully defended against all the fireballs. And although an intense heat followed, the barrier weakened it to levels that Carrion's resistance could endure. It's my turn, eat this. Beast roar. While arranging his barrier, Carrion converted his magical energy into raw destructive force. An attack aiming for the moment when the opponent was exhausted right after deploying an attack. This was Carrion's strongest sure-kill magic particle cannon. This time for sure, the finishing blow. As if responding to Carrion's those, the dreg magic particles emitted by the golden light burned the surrounding air. At this point, he wasn't holding back at all. All of his power was behind this attack. Kyufu, kyufu kyufu kyufu. Wonderful. This shows the brightness of your soul. However, you have used this attack a little too late. What a shame. Diablo's voice reached Carrion's ears. And, as if the world had stopped, as if time itself refused to continue, the light stopped right in front of its target. That is, right in front of Diablo. Impossible. Carrion thought, and quickly moved to create some distance. And then, he felt as if his mind and body were separated. Even if he tried to turn around, he felt his body fixed in place. He could see himself firing his sure-kill beast roar. What is happening? Carrion asked, impatiently. And, happily in response, Diablo said, Kyufu kyufu. This is my ability, Paradise Time. In this world, the time has stopped and only the two of us are conscious. Originally, I had planned to make you into my pawn, but your will was too strong. I might not be able to tempt you. Be proud of the fact. However, your spirit is weak against intrusion. Evidence that your mentality is poorly trained. So rejoice. You can still grow stronger. My lord, Ramiro-sama, and his ally Milim are like sworn siblings, so consider this a service. Learn from this mistake and devote yourself full-heartedly to improvement. Carrion could not understand the explanation, but he realized his defeat. Directing his consciousness into this world, he again looked at Diablo. And once again realized the overwhelming difference between them. The fact that he could materialize this world itself was something he could never understand. Before such overwhelming information, there's nothing Carrion could have done. In this world, he could not even move magic power. Damn it. I'll win next time. He yelled sorely with his last bit of strength. And Diablo's voice responded. World's End. As he had said, the world itself began to collapse, with Carrion's consciousness getting caught up and disintegrated. Had Diablo not rescued him in the end, he would have perished in the real world as well. And also, the beast's roar destructive power too was caught up in that world's collapse. So it will probably vanish in the real world. Such is Diablo's ability. The ability to control the life and death of the opponent based on their mental strength. The ability of his unique skill Seducer is absolute when activated within the world of illusions. And, inversion of truth and fallacy, the ability to interchange reality and illusions. The embodiment of illusions became reality in the material world. Only by training your spirit could you overcome this ability. The world regained movement, Carrion's beast roar was nullified in the illusion world, and no damage was dealt to Diablo. All mental damage was converted into physical damage, leaving Carrion wounded all over. I have lost. Kyufu. Wise decision. If this continued, I would have no choice but to kill you. Carrion's defeat marked the end of the 6th round. Kyufu. In the future, don't forget to train your spirit. Mind your own business. I would do it even without you telling me to. Carrion glanced at the VIP room among the audience venue. The figure of his master glaring at him while grinding her teeth came into his line of vision. AAA, as expected, she's completely enraged. Carrion wanted to cry, but because he was wearing the lion's mask it wasn't noticed. Let alone his mind and spirit, what awaited him would bring him to death's doorstep many times, no doubt about it. Thinking about that, Carrion felt gloomy, and wanted to redo his matches. Lion Mask, Carrion was defeated. No, I felt had he tried very hard. His last attack was particularly good. If it wasn't for Wisdom King Raphael's explanations, I wouldn't have understood what happened either. Suckaz was able to convince the audience that Diablo used some trick. She's particularly apt at swindling people, it seems. However, that was a good fight. To the audience, it seems like Lion Mask was overwhelming for the most part. Those of us who understood, saw Diablo using an extraordinary ability that lacked any common sense. Few, if any, truly understood what he had done. Other than us, of course. This is bullshit. That demon actually defeated Carrion and won. It seems there wasn't much difference in ability, but that unique skill isn't normal. Miriam stated her thoughts with vexation. She was now being thoroughly ridiculed by Ramiro, and was even dropkicked with the serves you right. In other words, my Beretta is superior. That one line enraged Miriam, and as punishment, Ramiro was pitifully trussed up like a bagworm on the floor. That string seemed like materialized energy. Ramiro probably wouldn't be able to break free. Well, you reap what you sow. It is true that Beretta did better. But Ramiro went overboard. The person she's making fun of is too evil. And so, seeking to avoid collateral damage, Feldera and I did not participate. Currently, the most pitiful one is probably Lion-san, Carrion, who just did his best. Well, you'll now be trained, and I hope I see you alive in the future. Clown's note, once again, please thank Smoggy for a chapter so wonderfully done, that I had to do minimal editing. Smoggy's note, thanks for the compliment Clown-san, this means a lot to me. P.S. I'm going to be absent for about a month to take care of exams and stuff, lab reports, presentations, that kind of stuff. Sorry about that, and please put a lid on the bear cuisine jokes. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 110, Tournament, Finals Part 5. The 7th match. Hakura vs Rita. This one I'm interested in. As expected of Feldera's tampering. I really can't see the outcome for most of today's matches. I predict that Hakura will win, but will it really end up that way? And thus it began. Famu. With a sigh, Rita began a light warm-up. It's been a long time since he last had a fight in which he had to go all out. Advancing to the middle of the arena, he stood facing Hakura. Without rushing, composed. A man who cared for naught but money, Rita. So the association spoke of him. In reality, he thought that it was natural for others to think that he cared only for money. He was the kind of person who would not hesitate to make money. He was fine with fraud and betrayal as means. After all, the one who was deceived was at fault, only someone who's suicidal would act without guarantee. For Rita, those whom he would betray were mere disposable pawns, a lesser life form he cared little for. Beings who are completely worthless are those who cannot even predict that they will be betrayed. So he never cared what kind of fate awaited those whom he had betrayed. Hence the reason people said that Rita always brought back dead man's loot. But there's a reason that Damarata is FO fixated with money. Expanding an organization costs a lot of money. You have to root yourself in various places in various countries, all of which costs money. Which is why Rita used various means to earn money. All for their great master, the true lord of the Cerberus, Kagurazaka Yuuki. The world above would be dominated by the Freedom Association. The underground would be taken over by Rita's group, Cerberus. Thus establishing complete dominion. They are also successfully corrupting the Eastern Empire, with strength and Lady Cerberus bosses deployed there. They have been supplying weapons and have thus earned their trust. And at an opportune time, Rita would be switched with the lady. Gaining dominance over humanity was but a matter of time, and they had long worked to incite the Western Saints Church to eliminate the monsters. Only Holy Empire Rubrian, for some unbeknownst reason, forbid intervention. However, surely that was within their great master's expectations. All Rita had to do was to follow. This time, he had received strange orders. Though perhaps what is strange is this country before him. Rita was ordered to obtain Demon Lord Ramiro's trust and be recognized as a trading partner. He was told about this Demon Lord's preference, and the plan was proceeding smoothly with Rita successfully infiltrating. Of course, the necessary information to get to this point was all manipulated by Kagurazaka Yuuki. Even as he admired his master's ability, he was also confident in appearing as a merchant. After all, this country stank of money from the moment he entered it. So it doesn't matter what he would be trading in, there was money to be made here. For Rita, this was job that was far more interesting than trading with the Eastern Empire, so he could not afford to fail. Therefore, maybe going all out would be fun. So, he took a natural stance. And thus the match began. In the center, glaring at each other stood Hakura and Rita. Both exhibited auras of masters, but Hakura was as a sword saint. I think that, being unarmed, Rita would be at a disadvantage, but I guess we'll see. The moment the match began, Rita instantly closed distance. He started not a single moment too soon, but was moving at a speed that even a seasoned veteran would have hard time dodging. Only because my thoughts are accelerated could I see it. Hakura, however, casually stepped back and swung down his sword. When did he draw it? For a second there, I thought that his sword had cut off Rita's legs, but... Kyun. A high-pitched sound rang out, and Rita's feet had repelled Hakura's blade. Though I thought Rita merely preferred baggy clothing, it seems he is wearing armor underneath. So he isn't a fool who'd fight him barehanded. Well, yeah, I get it. Each of Rita's kicks generate a vacuum blade aiming at Hakura, who, of course, intercepts it calmly. Returning his sword to the sheath, he began a series of special attacks using Blink Step. Using Blink Step, Hakura can move 5 meters in any direction in an instant and quickly dispose of his enemy. Truly a divine skill, Mist Blade, Kazumikiri. However, although he shouldn't be able to see it, Rita has been receiving Hakura's blade without fail. Although every strike should have easily been able to cut off his arm, Rita remains without wound. He probably has armored his hands as well. But to be able to block Hakura's blade, truly wonderful gear he has. Surely it is at least on par with the Templar's spirit armor. Currently, we are introducing the spirit armor to our market. It seems to be a relic of an ancient civilization that takes a lot of magic energy to make, but tends to surpass the performance of modern pieces. If you threw all of them in classes, you'd have God class, Legend, Unique, Rare, Special, and Normal. Spirit armor, even that sold in the common marketplace, would be of at least unique quality. Hinata's spirit armor is of legendary class. But if hers was legendary, would a god class truly exist? Apparently, Feldera had seen it before. For example, the hero who sealed Feldera was deigned in one. Seriously? I thought, but considering that Feldera said so, I have no reason to doubt him. According to him, when a considerable amount of energy accumulates in an armor, it can evolve. Now that I think about it, wasn't Carrion's equipment also legendary class? Kurobe seemed very interested in it. At the moment, Kurobe can mostly make unique equipment. But if we use the best material, I guess we really could reach legendary class. When this event is over, I'll have him finally finish my blade, katana. I mean, the demon steel has probably been soaking up my energy for a long enough time. But that aside, Hakura's blade is one of Kurobe's earlier works and is of rare quality. But, in the hands of a sword saint, equipment rank doesn't matter all that much. Though had it been unique, it probably would cut through the armor. So to repel all of those hits, Rita's Toki must either invalidate physical attacks or he has darn good equipment. Or both. Well, I guess I should just appraise it to find out. Result, I could only discern that the black clothing he is wearing is unique class. To interfere with appraisal skill, his equipment is truly great. But, what a shame. I have a reliable buddy named Raphael. Solution. Individual, Rita has an unnaturally high Toki. Additionally, I have identified at least 17 pieces of equipment. Each of unique class. Is what he said. What a rich guy this Rita is. To have enough money to purchase better equipment than the Templars. What a terrifying guy. The thing about spirit armor, is that lives as a single piece. It disperses and repairs using one's magical energy. So it's possible to instantly change the equipment used. Amazing, right? The power of money. This got me thinking, and when I look at Kurobe, he looks like he has something to say. We nod at each other. We have our next goal in mind. Lots of armor and weapon plans to draw. And even if we fail, we still go the dungeon money-making machine. Oh, this has gotten fun. Well, I have gone on a tangent. Doesn't matter, it does for me. I guess it's rude to Hakura and Kurobi. Quality of equipment aside, the fact that Hakura has been pressed this far just proves how much of a master Rita is. Perhaps a set of invisible nail blades adorned Rita's hands or something, because a set of vacuum blades suddenly assaulted Hakura. And it's certainly difficult to dodge what you can't see. But, Hakura lightly sidestepped what would have been a fatal wound. As expected. Hakura sent a dimensional decapitation attack at Rita, who blocked it by distorting space. Here, the climax of the battle. If Hakura is a sword saint, then Rita is a fist saint. Frankly, both are way stronger than the Templars. Even compared with Rita, Rita is stronger. And that has nothing to do with equipment, their skill is in a different dimension. There's no point to use equipment you can't fully utilize, Rita fully utilizes his. That means that Rita is not just some upstart lone shark. Speaking of that, I can't believe a human could fight this well. And they have already exceeded the allotted 30 minutes. Frankly, none of us had fought Hakura for 30 minutes in an all-out battle. Considering that Hakura has the unique skill martial artist, Rita must also possess some kind of unique skill. But since he doesn't show it, I can't analyze it. Could it be an internal skill? It would be strange for him to have been fighting on pure skill alone. Or could it be an effect of his unique equipment? It's a shame I'm not fighting him, can't gather as much information this way. But, even if Rita is a true master, humanity has its limit. Even if he had been supported with some item, this long of a battle surely has taken its toll. It's amazing he could hold his own against Hakura for 30 minutes straight. In the end, Rita let his guard down for a moment, and Hakura had already pressed his sword against his neck. Truly a wonderful battle. Feldera was so impressed he stood nodding. Seems like he has gotten interested in humanity's martial arts. He would pester me about it later, but that's a story for another day. Thus, the 7th match ended in Hakura's victory. But, I was able to see Rita go all out. I guess I will recognize him as a trading partner. Well, I am not the kind of fool who would trust someone from the underworld, but I will use him. He has fought well, and I did not limit the offer to only if he had won. But, trading? What should I have him do, what can I trade with him? I'll have to think about that. While I was thinking this, the next match was about to start. The 8th match, Shun vs. Gerudo. Now then, the last match of the day. Shun and Gerudo. Gerudo, a down-to-earth individual, is normally the head of the engineering corp, but is also the center of our defenses. Well, Tempest doesn't really have set roles for people, so work gets done by whoever is free. That too is something I plan to change based upon this event's results. But, for the time being, I wonder who is stronger, Shun or Gerudo. Gerudo's is a stable, skill of a guardian. Shun's, on the other hand, is unstable, swayed by her emotions. So is my earlier evaluation of her. Shun who would rampage if circumstances so dictated. But here. Begin. On Suckaz' command, Shun calmly drew her Oadaki and took a center stance aiming at his eyes. Her face was calm, her emotions tranquil. In fact, she released an imposing aura quite reminiscent of that of Hakura. A beautiful stance as if she had become one with the blade itself. Beholding her figure, Gerudo armed himself with the Castle Crusher hammer in his right hand, and the humongous castle shield in his left. Befitting his position as the center of our defense, his entire body is clad in heavy Yama armor, and with his unique skill guardian it would prove difficult to as much as scratch him. Shun altered her raised her blade above her, as so to swing it down with ungodly speed. As if possessed by Hakura himself, her movements are fluid without a single wasted moment. Seriously? I think, staring at her. And not just me, Benimaru and Sui, too, stare at her with wonder on their faces. That Shun, although her speech and conduct is still rather haphazard and she is prone to radical decisions, she has become rather sensible lately. Right, after she had made peace with the Templars. I thought I felt as if a weight was lifted from her, but perhaps she really did experience some kind of change as a result. She is no longer as arrogant nor looks down on humans. Actually, even when she says something foolish, rather than coming from her heart, it's as if she was kidding. Just like Benimaru, she no longer rampages and has attained a state of tranquility. Shin has grown, perhaps she just become more accepting. The current Shin does not depend on fighting with raw power alone, but as Hakura had taught, she displays the beautiful devotion to swordsmanship. In other words, actual skill has been added to her capricious nature. As a result, Shin brought down her Otaki, sending a shockwave at Gerudo. Of course, something of this level created no more than a smoke screen. But Shin did not waste that opportunity and fluidly slashed again. Gerudo stopped her slash with his shield, but the great Otaki, with the awesome power behind it, shattered it. No way. Benimaru muttered. Of course, I completely understand. Even Sui appeared surprised. There's nothing trivial about this, Shin's proficiency has gone way up. The current attack carried a Cook-S effect. The effect was to change the slash has been stopped by the shield into the shield could not stop the slash, allowing to cut through it like butter. However, Gerudo's guardian skill interfered. Even though it interfered, the shield still shattered. In other words, her mind surpassed his. Meaning this was her victory. In the end, as I had predicted, 30 minutes of fierce fighting resulted in Shin's victory. Gerudo did struggle with all his might, showing us his resolve, but not once did he touch Shin. His equipment destroyed, Gerudo pronounced his defeat, ending the match. Shin's growth is truly stunning. I was sure this would be a close fight, but Shin had completely dominated in the 8th round. Considering how amazing her growth was in this short while, I guess I should praise her for it. Thus, the second day has come to an end, and 8 names remain. The third day. Round 9, Benimaru vs. Sui. Round 10, Gobuta vs. Ranga. Round 11, Beretta vs. Diablo. Round 12, Hakura vs. Shin. Is what it comes down to. And at this point, I can't really predict the ending. They are all evenly matched, all are wonderful in their own way. So how will this end? Would we have an unexpected winner, Gobuta? My, I can't wait to see how it all ends. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible.